Hello everyone, welcome to the Supernatural Radio. Hello friends, I am here to tell you something again. Today we have a sister named Ru Shui, who is a big sister. She told us a story about her family. I think she can share her family's story. It's not easy to share it. It's not easy at all, because this story is quite sad. It's about when she was 13 or 14 years old. Her mother passed away, so it's about her mother's death and some related stories. I've titled the story Past Family Events. It sounds like it. It sounds quite meaningful, but I need to tell you in advance. Sister Ruo Shui is from the Northeast. What she says is very down to earth, and this episode isn't scary at all. I don't let the title fool you, so you should be mentally prepared and listen with a good mindset. Now, about Sister Ru Shui's story. It goes back many years. She said I was only 13 years old then. I remember that year very clearly. My mother was over 40 years old then. She was in very good health. But, for some reason, suddenly, that day she came home from work. When she got home, she said she felt unwell and weak, but starting from this day, in my mind, a very capable and very healthy mother just collapsed like this, and collapsed without explanation. After that, my dad took my mom to see many doctors. My mother's health got worse every day, and the hospital couldn't give a diagnosis for my mother's illness. Meaning, in the end, when Ru Shui's mother passed away, they didn't know what disease she had. Just felt weak all over. Her body's organs began to fail gradually. I think if it were now, it could be diagnosed. Maybe it's related to that era. Sister Ruo Shui is 50 or 60 years old this year. Think about her mother when she was 13. That was how many years ago? Well, set aside these things for now. But at that time, Dad shouldered the burden of Ru Shui's mother's illness and took his mother everywhere for treatment. Also, the couple had a very good relationship. In his memory, he said my dad and my mom never once raised their voices at each other. Their relationship is very rare, especially for our generation. Oh no, this is our previous generation. The relationship of the previous generation is even rarer, because arranged marriages were common then, their affection for each other. Perhaps young people today might not see it. But despite their strong foundation of love, unfortunately, Dad took his mother everywhere seeking medical help. It also took a toll on Dad, making him gaunt. At that time, relatives often said, "You still have children," meaning Ruo Shui and them. You can't collapse. If you collapse like this, your wife, the children, will be in trouble. But at that time, Dad, I really didn't want my mom to have any problems, but in the end, I traveled all over the country. But I ran out of options. And I spent a whole 4 or 5 months just going to hospitals. Then my relatives told my dad, "You should find someone else, someone from that field. See if your wife's illness. Could it be possession?" Dad didn't think of that at the time, but he was desperate then. Actually, Ru Shui's dad didn't really believe in this kind of thing, but there was no choice. Later, a friend pulled some strings and found a distant relative. This distant relative, she wasn't messing around. Listen to me, I am saying this casually, but this person appeared. But in reality, this person, in that area, especially in the village where she lived, was a famous auntie in those days. But back then, it wasn't like now. This sort of thing couldn't be advertised. If you advertised it, you'd be arrested, and that's no joke. So, it was only known to people around her. But those who didn't know her treated her as just a rural woman. But once they knew her actual abilities and what she had done, they knew this person was quite capable. So, it cost quite a bit of money back then. Ru Shui's dad invited this person over. When she was invited, since this person was related to Ru Shui's family, they treated her as a relative. Upon arrival, she was treated like family. Ruo Shui remembers this woman very clearly. She came alone. It was around 5 or 6 p.m. one day. My dad picked her up from the station. This woman was in her 40s or 50s, around 50 years old. When I first saw her, when Ruo Shui first met her, she felt that this auntie looked like an auntie from a big village. But she was very gentle and kind. Her face and her demeanor, she seemed like a very nice auntie. But Dad told Ruo Shui that this auntie was a practitioner of spiritual matters, a medium. Ruo Shui said she didn't believe it because at that time, in the eyes of people, especially a child Ruo Shui's age, talking about spirits and gods was terrifying. But this was only limited to the first day she met the auntie. The next day was when things got bad. Because on the second day, the auntie asked Ruo Shui's dad to prepare many things. Why prepare these things? I think everyone knows. It was to help Ruo Shui's mother. Then, the spiritual session was to take place the following evening, meaning it started on the evening of the auntie's second day there. As a result, Ruo Shui that night definitely couldn't be there. She was a child. She stayed with her older brothers and sisters. But on the third day, when the auntie conducted the session at night, what exactly she did, Ruo Shui wasn't told. And one day, you can't see this clearly. You have to watch for 3 to 4 days. Because this aunt's voice is off. You have to ask. You have to send out soldiers to inquire. To put it bluntly, it's about calculating Ruo Shui's mother's illness and her lifespan. But by the third day, after the ritual was done on the second day, during the day, when Ruo Shui saw this aunt again, she probably looked like a child, with clear eyes. But the face of the aunt, in front of Ruo Shui, her eyes, spirit, and overall state had completely changed. Ruo Shui said, "I am not exaggerating at all. The first day I saw her, she was just a kind village woman. That was her image. On the second day, this aunt's face became sharp, extremely sharp, and her cheekbones were sharp. Also, her eyes were large and muscular, and this aunt carried an aura of gloom. I don't know how to describe it. Whenever I looked at the aunt, I would get goosebumps, uncontrollably. But this perception was limited to Ruo Shui's feeling. Her older brothers and sisters, including her father, did not notice the aunt's change. Meaning, Ruo Shui was probably the youngest in the family at this time. Being a young girl, and with her mother sick, she must have suffered along with her. So, her luck was probably low. She could see things we can't. And then, this aunt stayed at their house for 6 or 7 days. She was with her mother every day. But unfortunately, after seeing her for 6 or 7 days, suddenly one afternoon, when everything was fine, the aunt suddenly stood up and wanted to leave. The father realized something was wrong. He begged the aunt to kneel and not leave. What exactly is going on? What is this problem? But the aunt told the father directly, I've truly done my best. I've used all the tricks I know. After all, we're related, and your wife is young. I don't want her to have any problems. I am also kind, but don't blame me. I've exhausted all my efforts. I have no more tricks. Prepare for the funeral. She won't make it past this year. After this woman said that, she felt embarrassed and turned to leave. The father politely saw her out, but at this point, the father's mental and emotional state had already collapsed. After the aunt left, many people advised the father that they must have done something. Don't completely believe their words. But from this point on, the father's mental state was overloaded. He didn't necessarily believe in feudal superstitions, but the father these days had also witnessed the aunt's power. He was sure this aunt was no ordinary person. So, from the bottom of his heart, the father suddenly believed in these things. Actually, the father had already mentally prepared himself. He knew Ruo Shui's mother didn't have long to live. But the matter wasn't over yet. Then, some time passed. Ruo Shui said, "This matter should have passed about 15 days. Suddenly, it was Sunday, and I was resting at home. Our whole family was there. Dad got up very early that morning. He was cooking in the kitchen. My family lives on the first floor. My brother was playing with family in the living room. Everyone in the family got up. Then Mom woke up. Mom was very weak, lying in bed. But suddenly, my next-door neighbor came to my house. They came under the window. My dad was there. He was standing by the kitchen window, cooking. The neighbor called my dad, "Big brother. Big brother, I have good news for you." My dad heard this and said, "What is it?" Then this person told my dad, "I'll tell you. Last night, my wife had a dream." What did she dream about? She dreamed a long snake came to your house. It was hanging on your roof beam and died. But big brother, don't worry. Didn't you buy a dream interpretation book from a street stall a while ago? I looked it up. I guessed what you were going to say. What did you look up? Oh, if you dream of a snake coming into your house and dying, it means you'll get rich. Your family might be. This illness might be cured soon. Honestly, this neighbor didn't mean any harm. But Roshui's father wasn't happy after hearing this. The neighbor's wife really had a dream. It was like it was real. He said in the dream, it was at night. He was walking around the door of his house. Then he saw a big snake. It crawled into Rushua's house. And then it went through the window into Rushua's house. At this point, the aunt became scared. The neighbor's aunt. She was afraid of snakes, but as she was scared and about to call for help, the big snake crawled onto the bed. It died by the bedside. It just stayed there. It was hanging by Rushua's bed. The aunt was amazed. She immediately ran back to get people, but she woke up from the dream. Just then, the aunt's husband, who was good friends with Rushua's father, was a neighbor. And a couple of days ago, he bought a magazine. It was that kind of magazine sold at street stalls. Newspapers, magazines, little books, etc. Anyway, I don't know what it was from the 80 seconds, a product of that era. This thing, it had a lot about dream interpretation. Then the big brother looked at it. It clearly stated that dreaming of a dead snake at home means great fortune. This big brother truly had no ill intentions. He came to bring them good news. Because he knew they had a sick person. But Rushui's father didn't think so. Because Rushui's mother's zodiac sign was snake. When her father heard this, his eyes immediately turned red. Although he didn't say much to the neighbor, he turned around, put down the pot he was holding, and turned off the fire. He sat down at the table and started smoking. His eyes were red. There was another child in the family, older than Ruo Shui. He asked his father, "What's going on?" His dad started crying after a bit. He told the kids, "Your mom isn't going to make it." And sure enough, the third morning, the mother who fell in the water was gone. Today, we'll talk about a dream. Usually, we rarely talk about dreams. Those who provide stories know this. I don't usually include dreams, but this dream is different. This dream mirrored reality. It was quite scary. And later, when I describe the dream scenes, you need to distinguish clearly. I am talking about what happened in the dream, what I dreamed in the dream. Please don't take it to heart. But the final outcome of this event was quite peculiar. This story was provided by a brother named Xiaoji. He said it happened to his cousin. It's about his cousin working in Zhengzhou. And something happened. Xiaoji's cousin is older than us. So the story he's telling is from about 20 years ago. That is, around 2006 or 2007. Around 2006 or 2007, Xiaoji's cousin was in his early 20s. He went to work in Zhengzhou. They are from Henan, but not from Zhengzhou. Working in Zhengzhou was tough, of course. Job hunting and all. After a lot of effort, he found a place to work. This place arranged a dormitory for him. Xiaoji's cousin recalls. He thought the dormitory might be very run down, or shared by many people, right? But when he got there, it wasn't like that. The dormitory arranged was for him alone. A single room. And it was even better than the apartment he rented outside. At the time, Xiaoji was very happy. But later he found out. After something happened, he realized he had been tricked. What do you mean tricked? The boss was truly despicable. The boss house was haunted. No one would rent it. So he let Xiaoji's cousin move in. With so many employees, why let Xiaoji's cousin move in? This is even funnier. A fortune teller had advised him that the only way to deal with the house was to find someone with a suitable zodiac sign and who had never been in a relationship, a man to live there. Let him stay for a few months, and it would be fine. Then the haunting would stop, because the owner had previously rented the house to 3 to 4 tenants. All of them said it was haunted. Of course, he also knew why it was haunted. He understood it all. But the fortune teller's advice wasn't accurate. He was talking nonsense. Also, this house has a strong energy. The force is a bit too much, Pillow Ghost. Meaning, what happened in this house before, Pillow Ghost, was a particularly vicious event. Pillow Ghost. So, this, Pillow Ghost, this house, it's not Xiaoji's cousin. Pillow Ghost, just with 115 items. Pillow Ghost, plus 10 virgins. Pillow Ghost, could fix this house. Pillow Ghost. But it was still harmed by Xiaoji's cousin. Pillow Ghost. That body. Pillow Ghost. The incident happened on the 3rd day after his cousin moved in. The 3rd day his cousin moved in. Pillow Ghost. The first 2 days, nothing really happened. Pillow Ghost. But on the 3rd day, one night. Pillow Ghost. That night, his cousin had a dream. Pillow Ghost. Do you know what he dreamed about, Pillow Ghost? He dreamed he was at his... Pillow Ghost. He was walking around the front door of his house. Pillow Ghost. It was about 11 or 12 at night. Pillow Ghost. He dreamed it very clearly. Pillow Ghost. And he was just walking around the door of the new house he was living in. While walking, someone called him from behind. Pillow Ghost. And it was a woman calling him. Pillow Ghost. He thought, who is this? Pillow Ghost. How do they know my name? Pillow Ghost. Because they called him by his name. Pillow Ghost. He immediately turned around. Pillow Ghost. Oh my God, Pillow Ghost. When he turned around, he saw 6 people standing behind him. These 6 people, Pillow Ghost, arranged in groups of 3. Pillow Ghost. Standing staggered, Pillow Ghost. The 3 in front were women. Pillow Ghost. They looked quite normal. Pillow Ghost. But the 3 behind them were headless. Pillow Ghost. Yes, you heard that right, Pillow Ghost. The 3 behind them were headless. Pillow Ghost. And these 3 people, Pillow Ghost, each held a head in their arms. Pillow Ghost. But these heads were made of wood. Pillow Ghost. They looked like carved wooden logs. Pillow Ghost. With painted noses and eyes. Pillow Ghost. It was terrifying. Pillow Ghost. Although Xiaoji's cousin was in a dream. Pillow Ghost. He was still scared after seeing it. Pillow Ghost. What are you doing? Pillow Ghost. But the 3 women in the front row, Pillow Ghost, could speak. Pillow Ghost. These 3 women were intact. Pillow Ghost. What did they say to him? Pillow Ghost. Are you the new resident here? Pillow Ghost. When he heard that, Pillow Ghost. Pillow Ghost. It was really like that. Pillow ghost. He couldn't even speak. He was stuttering. Pillow ghost. But when he didn't speak, pillow ghost. The three headless ones behind. Pillow ghost. Holding heads. They walked towards him. Pillow ghost. About to come at him. Pillow ghost. Oh, he was absolutely terrified. Pillow ghost. He turned and ran away. Pillow ghost. He saw bricks on the side of the road. Pillow ghost. He picked up a brick and threw it back. Pillow ghost. But when he threw it, pillow ghost, he hit one of the heads of the exploding heads. Pillow ghost. He hit the head on the ground. Pillow ghost. At that time, pillow ghost, he was also a certain distance from these people. He saw he hit someone. Pillow ghost, and angered them. Pillow ghost. As a result, the three headless ones, pillow ghost, ran extremely fast. Pillow ghost. They chased after him. Pillow ghost. He completely panicked. Pillow ghost. He ran in the dream, shouting hysterically, pillow ghost. And then that night, pillow ghost. He was woken up from his dream by shouting, pillow ghost. Oh my God, that's so scary. Pillow ghost. He woke up in the middle of the night and turned on all the lights in the room. He was sweating with fear. Pillow ghost. But he didn't expect his dream had anything to do with this house, and thought he might have watched something, or something like that, and had a nightmare. But the problem was, these 6 things clung to him. He kept having dreams consecutively for 3 to 5 days. After 3 to 5 days, he finally felt something was wrong. He wondered if it was paper, or if this house was the problem. Otherwise, why would the landlord let me live in his old house like this? This landlord is too good, right? And it's not like he doesn't have dorms. He has dorms. Why is he so nice to me? As a result, his cousin was smart. Yes, he was indeed smart, and started asking around at the entrance. After asking, his cousin, being an outsider, where old neighbors in the area are friendly with each other, and since they're all from around here, everyone has a house here. Right? No one wants their property to lose value because of this. People don't want to talk about this matter, but don't worry.